planning to end the video here, but then there was another twist at the last minute, just before I finalized the script. I'll give you the background and timeline. The original video was uploaded on the 28th of March. I came across it a few hours later, but still on the 28th. I made a few comments under it starting on the 29th, asking some questions and implying that there were some serious mistakes, but still being quite coy so as not to spoil the surprise when I released this video. On the 30th, an updated version of the video was released, which was pretty much the same, except it included an additional 10 minutes or so tacked on to the end about a bunch of different subjects. Around the same time, in the comment section of the original video, I was getting more explicit about one mistake in particular, the claim relating to the canid barcoding paper. Then on the 31st, I noticed that the segment where Matt makes the claims about the canids had been deleted from both the original and the updated video. That's something you can do on YouTube. You can trim videos that you've already uploaded. It's completely disappeared from the record, as though we never said it. Take a look at the original and the edited version of the first video, side by side.
By analyzing the barcodes across hundreds of thousands of species, researchers found a telltale sign showing that all animals emerge at the same time, as well as humans, and all have clear genetic boundaries from one another. For example, they found that the wolf, fox, jackal, and dogs all have similar low DNA barcoding differences, proving they are all related. So a dog and a wolf, though not considered the same species, both had low DNA barcoding gaps, showing that they are related to one another and on a family level, drawing a clear genetic boundary. While results also showed that a large DNA barcoding difference gap to all other tested animals that evolution says are related to wolves, like the brown bear, the sea otter, marten, fur seal, and badgers, all were distinctly different, having large barcoding differences. Similarly, all felines were the same as well, and showed they were all related all the way down to the species level. The house cat is related to the lion and the panther, and DNA barcoding shows low gap differences.
There's no note in the comments section or the descriptions mentioning the change at all. My comments mentioning the errors have also been hidden. Hundreds of people had already watched the videos by that point, many of whom would have come away from them thinking the claim is true, and that will stick with them. This isn't the first time Standing for Truth and Rawmat have been caught doing this when they've been called out on errors in their videos. We can contrast this shady method of editing one's mistakes out of history with YouTubers like Tony Reed, who releases entire videos dedicated to listing all the mistakes he made in previous videos, or to the common practice of adding notes in comment sections or the description box, correcting errors. The contrast between dishonest creationists and honest science YouTubers is night and day.
One.
What is a genetic comparison between a cat and a raccoon, or a skunk, or a hyena, or a wolf? Well, that's a good question. Raccoons are more closely related to bears than they are cats. But yet, cats are supposed to be genetically more related to raccoons if their phylogeny tree was correct. See for yourself. Look at the branches. Cats on the bottom right, raccoons on the bottom right, yet bears are on the totally opposite branch on the top left, with a totally different divergent ancestor at the base. Since cats and dogs are supposedly
2.
Since cats and dogs are supposedly to be genetic cousins of the same tree, they should have a lot of similarities in biology, right? Well, the feline cat genome is predicted to contain 19,493 protein-coding genes and 1,855 non-coding RNAs, similar to the dog. Well, as it turns out, the results for them weren't very good after all. They used an annotated gene set to compare unambiguous mammalian gene orthologs shared between cat, dog, cow, and human. Both human and cow were closer genetically to the cat than the cat was to the dog, which is supposed to be on the same ancestral tree branch and far more closely related to common ancestry if it were true. What a disaster for evolutionists. Even dogs were closer to humans at 95%. Now, could something prior to the Prologue given rise to it? Sure, why not? And I believe we can identify which cat was created by using the Bible, since it tells us that life after creation ate plants. So if this is true, more vegetative cat evidence is what we should find if this were true, since creation had no need for carnivory. Remember, God created animals to only eat plants. Only after the fall they turned on one another and sin brought death into the world. What evidence is there for this? Are there ancestral cats with molars? Yes. Miacids. The miacid was created with a full complement of molars. Later, the miacid speciated and gave rise to the Prologue, which went on to populate the entire world we know of known cats today. But the fact remains, no genetic data, or any data for that matter, solidifies that opinion. The Prologue is the first cat, the first of its created kind, and it populated the entire world we see today. That is what the evidence shows, and that is what we say. What about nymphorids, which are I am confident that they are wrong on this assumption that nymphorids do not belong to the cat order. The difference between nymphorids and the feline order display only minute skeletal differences, indistinguishable in almost every area. This is why there was such a dispute. But calling an extinct cat a non-cat that is otherwise clearly a cat, simply for classification purposes and based solely on ossification bones in their ear, seems excessive and outright dishonest.
I know what I'm doing.
I mean, think about it. Evolutionists claim that man is an ape, and yet all apes have 3 bones in their inner ear which give them better hearing, and humans do not. So now they are going to turn around and see bones in this ancient cat ear and say that it is not part of the feline lineage? But why? Why do they do this? Well, because it doesn't match up with their phylogenetic tree that they made. So see how biased they are? If they need something to work, they will just make it up and place it where it wants regardless. Yet when it doesn't match up, they ignore it entirely, in the case with ape and man. Do you see the double standard reasoning?
You're a moron and a coward.